Hey everybody, today on Booray Explains, we're going to talk about short light and broad light and what these two things are and why they're important if you want to do portraits of people. Before we get started, don't forget to join me on Facebook. I have a group called Pro Photo Talk with Booray Perry. It's a great community. Join us there. Also, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram has examples of my work, but also just has lots of funny stuff. It's a fun Instagram feed to follow. And also, don't forget to check out my gear page. I'm always doing reviews and being asked about the gear that I carry, both professionally as a professional photographer and as a hobbyist with my Fuji X100V. And all of that is listed on my gear page, which is listed in the description. If you click one of those links and you end up buying something, I make a couple of dollars and it helps me to keep this channel alive. All right, let's talk about short light and broad light. Short light and broad light is actually incredibly important. It really is. And it's one of those things that I feel that a photographer who is learning photography and getting new to photography and trying to become better, it's one of those moments where you start to cross over into the area of being a professional. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everything that you learn about photography makes you closer to being a professional, learning all about the exposure triangle, learning all about depth of field, learning all about the rule of thirds and so forth. All of that stuff is important. But when you start talking about short light and broad light, now you're getting more, for lack of a better word, maybe artistic is what I'm thinking. Because now you're really starting to fine tune what you're doing when you're taking pictures of people and what the light is doing. And specifically in this instance, what direction the light is coming from. So I've turned off one of my lights today. I have two lights on either side of me here that I bounce into the wall. And I usually do my videos pretty much with a flat light, what's called a flat light, which means that there's no real shadow. It's just kind of a flat light. Most photographers, portrait photographers, they don't like flat light at all because it lacks detail, it lacks contrast, it lacks a three-dimensional look. Light can do this, absolutely can do this. So for this demonstration, I've turned off one of my lights, and I've only got the light over here turned on. It's bounced into the wall right there. So the light, for all effective purposes, is coming from that direction. It's directional light coming into my face this way. So this is neutral because I'm pointed right at the camera. Short light and broad light really has to do with which way your face is pointed in relation to the light. And you can tell, that's how you decide really how to set up short light or broad light, is simply point your head this way and that will give you short light. Point your head that way and it will give you broad light. But you can recognize what type of light it is just by looking at the shadow on the face. All right, so this is neutral. Now, I'm going to turn my head this way. This is short light. And if I turn my head this way, this is broad light. Short light, broad light. Can you tell the difference? Maybe not, because you don't know what you're looking for. So here's what you're looking for. You're looking for the shadow. The shadow where the light starts to fall off, where is it? If the person is being short lit, then the shadow, you will be able to see it. Because the side of the face that is closest to the camera, the shadow will be visible. If the person is being broad lit, you won't see the shadow. The light is now coming into the side of my face. And so the side of my face that is closest to the camera is completely lit. See how there's no shadow here? But if I go to broad light, now we see a shadow. See the shadow? And that's it in a nutshell. That's how you can tell short light from broad light. Short light, broad light. So when you're working with a model or somebody and you want to light them and you want to short light them or broad light them, what do you tell them? Well, that's very, very simple. If you want to short light someone, you just tell them to look towards the light. So in my case, the light is over here. So if I want to be short lit, I just look in that direction. The light's going to come straight into my face and fall off, which means it's going to put a shadow over here. Because this is the plane of the light. It's coming straight in, and then you get shadow as it falls off, moving across my face. But if I look away from the light, now the plane of the light is coming straight into the side of my face, and all of this will be lit. This is broad lighting. You see that the broad side of my face is lit. And here, the broad side of my face is not lit. It is short. The light is short on my face. It doesn't light everything. It falls short of lighting my face. Another way, maybe that will help you remember it. So short light, broad light. So why do you use it? Why does it matter? Who do you light short? Who do you light broad? Well, there's a lot to that, and that would probably be a whole other video. There used to be this saying, which of course is totally inappropriate now, but they used to say, never broad light abroad. Right. So the idea was you should never broad light a woman. And the general idea was you broad lit men and you short lit women. So so a man would be photographed like this and a woman would be photographed like that. And one of the reasons is that when you short light someone, because the shadow comes into play, it makes a shorter throw of light on the face, but it makes things smaller because there's more darkness. And the human mind, when they see something that's dark, they perceive it to be further away. So having something dark helps to give more shape to the face and helps to make the face smaller and more petite. And the women must be petite. Of course, now we know that's not true. Now we know that short light and broad light can be used for anybody, for any purpose. It really depends on what you're trying to convey with that person. But as a general rule, I do like to short light most women, but to be honest, I like to short light everybody. I just do. I prefer short light because I like the shadow, I like the contour. In fact, when I'm doing my videos and I have both of these lights on and I'm more broadly lit to both sides and more flatly lit, I don't really particularly like the lighting. I do it because it's a video and I always want it to be clean. But honestly, I prefer this. I prefer the light to fall off. I prefer the shadow. That's a mark of someone who knows what they're doing when they're shooting portraits, is they understand the use of light and shadow to show contour and to show detail and context, right? So I prefer a short light. And if I'm going to take a picture of you and there's one light, I am almost always going to turn you straight towards that light because I like the fall off here. I like the shadow. But that's up to you. There's great pictures that are made of people with broad light and short light and flat light, and then there's butterfly light and clamshell, and there's all these different types of lighting. But it all starts with short and broad lighting. All right, hopefully you got it now, right? Short and broad. And by the way, this doesn't have to be done with just a light. You can do this in nature all the time, all the time. If you're taking someone's picture outside and you're using the sun as your light, take a look at where that sun is hitting their face. If they're just looking straight at you and the sun is hitting their face from wherever, then it doesn't matter so much. But if you're looking straight at you and the sun is coming from this angle over here, if you just turn their face a little, you're going to get a little shadow here, and now they're short lit. And if you turn their face here, they're going to be broad lit. So I would encourage you, if you've never paid much attention to this, to start paying attention to it. And you will start to see that it's just another way that you can manipulate what your images look like as an artist. Short light, broad light. All right, listen, throw me a like and throw me a subscribe and click the little button there so that you will know when I put up another video. And thanks for watching.